Last time, the cashier whose wage was cut by standing still. Today, a worker whose paycheck actually kept moving, the autoworker. Good wages, a union, the American dream on an assembly line. This is the job that built the middle class, but something underneath it changed quietly with a single date, and it turned a promise into a gamble. Two workers, same line, same job. One retires secure, the other retires rolling dice. And the only difference is the year they were hired. This is Paycheck versus the past. Today, the autoworker. I'm Dan Cole. This is Paycheck versus the past, the same job, a different decade. Today, the autoworker and how retirement went from a promise to a gamble. Start with the old deal because it was genuinely extraordinary. It was called a pension, a defined benefit pension. Here's how it worked. You put in your years, and in return, the company promised you a guaranteed check every single month for the rest of your life. No matter how long you lived, you didn't have to pick investments. You didn't have to guess the stock market. You didn't have to pray you'd saved enough. The company carried all of that. The risk that the market crashed, the risk that you lived to 95, that was their problem, not yours. Think about how much weight that took off a worker's shoulders. You could do dangerous, exhausting work for 30 years and actually know that the back end of your life was handled. You weren't gambling on the stock market with your old age. You were promised a number, and the number showed up. For one generation of workers, retirement was something the company owed you, a promise written down. Now here's where the autoworker becomes the perfect way to see the change, because for them it happened on a single, specific date. In their 2007 contract, the big Detroit automakers and the union closed the pension to new hires. Get hired before October 29, 2007, you're on the old pension. Hired the day after, you get a 401k instead. Same factory, same union, same assembly line, same job, bolt for bolt. Two people working side by side, one promised a pension, one handed a savings account. There has rarely been a cleaner line drawn between the old deal and the new one. So watch the difference between those two retirements side by side. On the left, the pension, a flat, steady line, the same check arriving every month, running off the edge of the screen and never stopping, until the day you die. On the right, the 401k, a single jagged line that you have to grow yourself. It soars in a good market and craters in a crash, 2008, 2022, right when you might need it. And here's the part nobody mentions. That line can hit zero before you do. You can outlive your own retirement. One is a promise that lasts as long as you do. The other is a pile of money you pray doesn't run out first. So what actually happened in that swap? In one phrase, the risk got transferred from the company to you. The 401k wasn't even designed for this. It started as an obscure line in a 1978 tax law meant to supplement a pension, not replace it. Then companies realized something. If they switched everyone to 401k, every expensive, scary part of retirement came off their books. The saving, the investing, the market timing, the risk of you living a long time, all of it. And it landed on your kitchen table. Now you're the pension fund. You're the investment manager. You're the one who eats the loss in a crash. And most people were never trained for that job. You're suddenly asked to predict markets, balance a portfolio, and guess how long you'll live, decisions that used to be made by professionals the company paid. Get it wrong, retire into a crash, or simply live longer than your money, and there's no backstop. The risk didn't disappear, it just changed addresses. The company didn't stop paying for retirement out of greed alone. They just handed you the risk they used to carry and called it freedom. And this wasn't a niche change at a few car companies. It happened across the entire economy. In 1975, about 27 million private sector workers were actively building a pension. By 2023, that had collapsed to about 11 million, a fall of nearly 60%. Over the same years, 401k-type savers exploded from about 11 million to over 96 million, nearly 9 times more. Back in 1980, around 38% of private workers had a pension. Today, only about 1 in 7 even has access to one. In a single working lifetime, the guaranteed pension went from normal to rare to almost extinct. Okay, so the 401k. The obvious question is it working? Are people actually saving enough to replace a pension? Here's the number for the people who did everything right. Among households aged 55 to 64 who actually have a retirement account, the median balance is about $204,000. That sounds like a lot, until you realize it has to last 20, 30 years of retirement. Stretch $200,000 across 30 years and it's a few $100s a month. A pension paid that every month forever, guaranteed. The 401k hands you a lump sum and says, don't spend it too fast and don't live too long. and a lump sum plays tricks on the mind. $200,000 feels like wealth until you divide it by the 25 years it has to cover, and it becomes a quiet, daily anxiety instead. Every withdrawal is a gamble against your own lifespan. And remember, that's the figure for the savers, the ones who managed to build something. And now the number that should stop you cold. Nearly half of all American families, about 46%, have $0 in any retirement account. Nothing at all. Under the old system, you didn't need to opt in or save with discipline. The pension was automatic, just working the job built it. The 401k requires you to choose to save every paycheck for 40 years, while every other bill in this series is fighting for that same dollar. So when retirement became a personal project instead of a company promise, tens of millions of people, understandably, ended up with nothing saved for it. So what catches everyone who didn't or couldn't save? Social Security, and it's a thin floor. The average retired worker's Social Security check is about $1,900 a month, a little under $23,000 a year. It replaces only about 39% of a typical worker's pay. It was always designed to be a supplement, a backstop, never the whole retirement. But for the millions with little or nothing saved, that thin floor is now the entire plan. We dismantled the guaranteed pension, told everyone to build their own, and left Social Security to catch everyone who fell through. Now the honest part, because the 401k isn't pure villainy. It's portable. A pension chained you to one company for decades to fully vest, and if you left early, you could lose much of it. A 401k moves with you. And in a long bull market, a well-funded 401k can actually beat a pension. Pensions weren't perfect either. Even at the peak, only about 38% of private workers had one, and some pension funds failed. So this isn't the past was paradise. It's that the new system trades a guarantee for a gamble, more upside, far more downside, and the floor pulled out from under the unlucky. Freedom and risk are the same thing, wearing different clothes. So here's the Autoworkers ledger, the same job, the same line, two different deals. Workers with a pension, about 38% in 1980, down to roughly 1 in 7 today. Retirement itself, a guaranteed check then, a self-funded gamble now. And the risk of it all going wrong, the crashes, the long life used to sit with the company. Now it sits with you, same overalls, same shift, a fundamentally different promise at the end of it. So the Autoworker, born at the right time for retirement or the wrong one, it comes down almost exactly to that one hiring date. The work didn't change, the factory didn't change, the risk did. The Autoworker hired in the old world got a promise that lasts as long as they do. The one hired in the new world got a gamble they have to win alone against the market for 40 years. Nobody cut their pay. They just quietly took back the promise and handed the worker the dice. So the Autoworker's retirement became a bet they have to win alone. But that whole world, the pension, the single good factory wage, the house bought on one income, was built around a very specific family. One breadwinner, one stay-at-home spouse. So what happened when one income stopped being enough to hold it all up? Next time, the one-income household. This is Paycheck versus the past.